Hey, thanks for joining us today. I'm excited to be here with you because so many of my clients and colleagues are laser focused on building their wealth, especially with real estate. And they're always asking me what they can do to grow their wealth even faster. Whether they're very successful already or they're just starting to gain traction with their first deals under their belts, I always start by reminding them of that old saying, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. I do this because more often than not, investors, especially real estate investors, get so caught up in making deals, they overlook some of the foundational elements that can make a huge difference to their bottom lines. At Royal Legal Solutions, we are all about protection and have a ton of webinars, videos, podcasts, etc., about everything from protecting yourself from lawsuits, protecting yourself from quote unquote time wasters. And today we're talking about protecting your hard-earned cash from the government through taxes. On this webinar, I'll share a strategy that pays for itself by protecting your money from the government, and it gives you a return boosting advantage that will help you build your wealth even faster than you ever have before. Sound good? All right, let's dive in. The tax sheltering system I'm about to show you is specifically designed to be quick, easy to modify, and very low maintenance. Overall, it's a completely painless process. You just need to implement it in order to put it to work for you. What people love about this is you can set up this tax sheltering strategy today and it will very likely pay for itself in year one, leaving you extra profits in the form of tax savings for years and years to come. Best of all, with this strategy, you can get control of your retirement investment from start to finish. With that in mind, what if I told you you could easily earn an extra 30% on your investments just by using some simple tax sheltering techniques? How many of you would be interested? Fantastic. This is something you've never seen before. The full image here shows the Royal Protection System fully complete, which has all the key components to protect your wealth during your lifetime. It also makes sure your wealth stays protected while passing to your heirs as part of your estate plan, and it saves you money on taxes all along the way. If this looks confusing to you guys, though it should, because you have to watch all of our webinars to really get the complete picture of everything that's going on. But today's focus is just the tax sheltering part of what we do as part of the larger Royal Protection System. And it's shown on the left-hand side of the diagram in the dash box. If you're interested in learning about everything that's on the right-hand side of the diagram, then you'll want to see our other webinars on asset protection and estate planning. They are the one-stop shop type of system to put in place to prepare you for the end of life and also make sure your money is freed up for you to be able to use with how you're going to be able to create all the extra free time for you moving forward. It's something from Royal Legal Solutions that fully capitalizes on all of the synergies between investing, asset protection, estate planning, and tax sheltering. Now, you may be wondering if you need tax sheltering, and the answer is yes, you do. Every single investor needs tax sheltering because the more you save in taxes, the more money you have to invest. The most important driver for creating financial freedom is the number of dollars you can funnel into your investments. Even if you aren't the best investor, if you have more dollars to invest, you increase your overall returns and the speed at which you reach your financial freedom number, the number you need to hit to get whatever you're looking for out of life. It's that simple. The number of dollars you have is much more important than the return you get on your investment. By all means, continue seeking out the investments that pay the highest returns, but don't leave money on the table. Lock in that additional 30+% you'll get from tax sheltering. The way I do this for my clients is by leveraging one of the greatest tools available for tax sheltering, and it's the solo 401k. The solo 401k is known by different names. Some people refer to it as the owners only or the one participant plan. But a solo 401k is just a personal 401k that you and your spouse can use to shelter income from taxes. The rules regarding business owners are very flexible. At Royal Legal Solutions, we take care of all of the setup and compliance for our clients. So you'll never have to worry about whether you're quote unquote doing it right. We've also been very successful in helping clients that were told by others that they were ineligible. We're able to help our clients to easily establish legitimate business structures that satisfy the IRS rules, allowing you to take advantage of the solo 401k. This is important because most real estate investors think they can't use the solo 401k due to the fact that they only receive rental income, but that's not really the case. By simply restructuring your business activities, you can make an eligible income eligible. That's right. With a solo 401k, you are in the driver's seat. You have total control of your bank accounts, investments, etc. There's not even a custodian requirement like there is with self-directed IRA. With a solo 401k, there's just no better vehicle to maximize your real estate investments using tax-sheltered money. You can contribute 10 times more to a solo 401k than an IRA, and you can combine this tax-sheltered money with loans, just like you normally would to invest. Just imagine funding your retirement account with 10 times more money. With the solo 401k, you can do this because there's a much higher contribution limit. Now, wait, it gets better. You can loan yourself money from your own retirement account to fund your down payments on investment properties, which of course you'll leverage using other people's money. You're growing your investment portfolio, buying more properties faster than you ever have in the past, and you'll be able to leverage these investments without incurring the UDFI, which is a tax related to the IRA receiving a loan for the purchase of property or other business activities. It's a very powerful tool. I always tell my clients the solo 401k is the quickest way to get to your next property. Funding your solo 401k is easy. Typically, you can do it in one of two ways. Either roll your IRA or 401k from your previous employer into your own self-directed solo 401k, or you make contributions from your own company from the wages paid to you by your own company. Another important advantage of the solo 401k I alluded to this a minute ago is the higher contribution limits. For 2018, some self-employed earners can set aside as much as $61,000 for retirement in a solo 401k, depending upon their age and compensation. And since there's no custodian, you have the maximum flexibility, control, and speed to make investments. You can even take deductions on both your business taxes and your personal taxes. So let's look at the requirements for a solo 401k. Solo 401k requirements is simple. The sole employee must be an individual or married couple, and you must maintain the 401k yourself, unless, of course, you have Royal Legal Solutions do it for you. For clients of Royal Legal Solutions, we provide everything needed to get yourself fully established. This includes your solo 401k plan documentation, your designated beneficiary forms, your contribution forms, your rollover forms, your 401k loan forms, and your EIN number for the 401k bank account. We even help you set up those bank accounts completely online without ever stepping foot in a branch. Now, keep in mind, every solo 401k must be attached to a company. For real estate investors with passive income, this means you'll need two companies. One company which runs the quote-unquote active parts of your business, like leasing the properties, hiring contractors, etc., and a second company that produces and protects your assets. If you're ever sued, you lose little or nothing. That's your asset holding company. This is the typical two-company structure that we always refer to, which is one company that will handle all of your active parts of your businesses but won't own anything. This is your face to the world, so to speak, and a separate company, which is your asset holding company, which owns everything, but it doesn't do anything. Now, if you were having to do this on your own, I know it sounds like a lot to keep track of, and it is to some extent. There's no question about it. But it's like that old joke says, you can be poor or you can do paperwork. It's a lot to keep track of, and the more you grow, the more complicated your paperwork becomes. But the good news is, the really good news is, with Royal Legal Solutions and the Royal Protection System, we are the experts on the paperwork, and we handle all of the forms and filings and tracking of everything for you. We take care of all of it as part of an annual maintenance fee, which is just $250 a year. 100% of our clients agree that it's money well spent. Now, with the solo 401k, there's one thing you want to be aware of. Your solo 401k assets are not inherently protected like your IRA. Remember, at Royal Legal Solutions, we're sticklers for protection. It's not what you make, right? It's what you keep. As such, we recommend that your solo 401k owns its own LLC where it holds money and title to your investments. Remember, this form of asset protection that Royal Legal Solutions specialize in, and we deal with this stuff day in and day out, year after year. There's absolutely nothing about these advanced protection strategies that phases us, which is probably why many investors just hire us to get it done. Okay, so if you have an existing retirement account, did you know that you can simply roll them over into your own solo 401k? Almost every type of retirement account can roll over, including an IRA or 401k with a previous employer. That said, there are only two very limited restrictions. You cannot roll over a Roth IRA to a Roth 401k, and you cannot roll over a 401k from an existing employer unless you qualify and your plan allows for an in-service withdrawal. Say, for example, because you're 59 and a half years old. That's the existing employers. You can't roll it over if it's an existing employer. You can make traditional or Roth contributions to a solo 401k. Employers can make up to a 25% in contributions to their employees' compensation. Now, how many of you wish your current retirement account wasn't so restrictive? How many of you wish you could buy real estate in your retirement account? Well, with a solo 401k, you can hold almost anything: real estate, stocks, precious metals, private companies, except S corporations. As I mentioned earlier, it's extremely flexible. Now, that being said, there are ways you can screw it up, and we have information for you to make sure you don't do that. And we also have attorneys that are available to consult with you if you're ever in doubt. The most popular way people use a solo 401k is making sure that they don't do anything that's going to be considered a prohibited transaction. So prohibited transactions are things that could trigger taxes and major penalties. However, these penalties become minor if the transaction is ever corrected. So, even if you do make a mistake, as long as you're active about being able to correct it, a lot of times you're going to be okay. The 3 prohibited transactions you need to be aware of to avoid are as follows. And so even if you do make the error, we always make sure that you try to correct it as fast as possible. The first involves a disqualified person. This includes transactions with yourself and your family, or any company in which you or your family owns 50% or more. The second prohibited transaction is loans to your family. You can't do that. The third is any deal where you personally benefit from the investments of your 401k, except where your 401k increases in value. Notice the exception here, folks. We're going to exploit this loophole here in a minute. Now, a solo 401k may be used to leverage, with leverage to purchase real estate without being subject to the UDFI tax. All the leverage must be non-recourse to the 401k, and you cannot personally guarantee the loan. That would be in terms of a benefit to your 401k if you personally guarantee the loan, guys. But this is a huge benefit that you're not subject to the UDFI taxes that you would be otherwise if you had an IRA. So your 401k then with special lenders can go out and acquire property by putting down the down payment and those lenders funding the remainder. Of course, if you're a client of Royal Legal Solutions, we have connections with all of these lenders and are able to ensure your compliance with these rules and hold your hand throughout the entire process. So you can use these loans for anything you want, including real estate purchases, but you must pay them back. These are loans that you would potentially be, taking out of your 401k. If you don't pay the loan back, it's considered a distribution. And just like all retirement plans, early distributions are subject to taxes and penalties. 401k distributions are subject to tax, so they would be included in your gross income. Plus, there's a 10% early withdrawal penalty unless you're over 59 and a half, you die or become disabled, or you're 55 and retired. Distributions from a Roth account are not subject to the penalties we just talked about. However, any profit or gains are subject to the taxes I just mentioned, unless it's a qualified distribution. So let's turn to look at what a qualified distribution is, guys. I know this is some high level, nerd talk for a moment, but this is the nuts and bolts, nitty gritty kind of information that you can understand here to be able to really know what exactly you can do. And if you have any questions on it at any time, you just have to give us a call and we're going to be able to help you with that information. So turning back to a qualified distribution is one made to somebody at 59 and a half or older, or because of death or disability, and 5 years has passed since the contribution was made or rolled over. Overall, the solo 401k works out very favorably for real estate investors because they're business owners. They make the most of the higher contribution limits, and since there's no custodian required, they avoid paying an annual fee. And here's what Patricia did, guys. And I'll tell you about Patricia here in a moment. So far, what we've done is we've covered the requirements, restrictions, and prohibitions on the transaction. I've explained how the clients of Royal Legal Solutions can add the solo 401k to their wealth building arsenal without having to do any of the extra work at all, because we take care of all the back end stuff for you. Now let me give you an example of how savvy investors are using the solo 401k to grow their wealth in real estate. And this is where I'll talk to you guys about Patricia here. She's a teacher and she also does some freelance design work that qualifies her for a solo 401k. Patricia has allocated a portion of her retirement savings to investments and rental properties around her town. And thanks to her knowledge of the area, she's been able to find some great deals. And here's what Patricia specifically did. Once her solo 401k was set up, she started investing right away to take advantage of attractive home prices in her town. Patricia bought an investment property for $30,000 and turned it into a rental that generates $850 per month. That that she bought. Then she bought a $16,000 home for cash, which she took out of her solo 401k. It costs another $4,000 to fix it up, but the house now generates $700 per month. Both properties were purchased as direct investments through her solo 401k. These houses are strictly investment properties. They rented out to her tenants and are owned by her retirement plan. All the rental income Patricia receives must be deposited back into the plan and used to pay all of her rental expenses. As I mentioned a minute ago, owners of a solo 401k plan can't use the plan's investments for personal gain or to benefit any disqualified person, such as a spouse or a child. These are retirement accounts. So the goal in using the solo 401k is to build your wealth for retirement. However, because of the solo 401k's flexibility, you can also borrow money from your plan. For example, Patricia used a solo 401k loan to purchase her primary residence. By using the participant loan option, you can borrow as much as 50% of your solo 401k balance up to $50,000, whichever is less. These loans are tax and penalty free, and they can be used for any purpose. Now, remember, these are real loans. You're borrowing money from your retirement account, so the loan must be paid back on a regular schedule over 5 years, unless the loan is used for a primary residence, in which case it can take 15 years to repay it back. But you have to pay it back with interest, which is prime plus 2%. And here's something else that's nice about the solo 401k. Using Patricia's example, because she borrowed money from her solo 401k to purchase her primary residence, she doesn't have to worry about losing her loan privilege. What I mean by this is, if Patricia had borrowed this money from an employer-sponsored 401k and then lost her job, she'd be on the hook to repay the entire balance immediately. But because the loan came from her solo 401k, she can just continue making her payments as scheduled. Are you starting to see the benefits of using the solo 401k here, guys? I mean, they're really just vast in what you're able to do. Without question, the solo 401k can be a financial game changer, putting you in your next property faster, and we can show you how to do it. You just need to set it up properly and follow the rules. Of course, if you're a client of Royal Legal Solutions, we make it ridiculously easy for you. With us taking care of all the behind the scenes stuff, you're completely free to focus on doing more deals or just living your life. And having the freedom and flexibility will make a huge difference to you when it comes to being able to grow your portfolio and to manage it. Let me take a quick step back here, because I know I mentioned my company, Royal Legal Solutions, but I'd like you to know a little bit more about me and where I'm coming from. My name is Scott Royal Smith. I'm the founder of Royal Legal Solutions, and I'm an active real estate investor with deals in 10 different states at any different time. And I love using the idea of other people's money to acquire properties and build lasting wealth. But I've learned that some deals that look really great on paper just don't measure up in the real world. And as a practicing asset protection attorney, I've seen far too many investors get wiped out because they didn't put the strategy in place before getting into a deal. That's why I built my entire legal practice on defeating lawsuits before they even get filed. My trick is simple. I make clients' real estate businesses judgment proof. And in other words, I make the prospect of suing my clients look so unattractive, so unbelievably time and labor intensive, that plaintiffs' attorneys don't even bother my clients. It's much easier for them to just move on to an easier target that aren't so well protected. And in most cases, that's exactly what they do. Obviously, the strategy has worked out well for me, and not just as an attorney, but also as a real estate investor. And that's why I created the Royal Protection System, because there was nobody else offering an all-inclusive system for real estate investors. And I'm talking about life-changing strategies for asset protection and wealth building that, when combined, make all the difference to any investor trying to carve out a decent life for their loved ones. The Royal Protection System is my way of paying it forward and helping others achieve similar success. You see, what I realized a while back is that most people only have so much time and energy to devote to the business side of wealth creation, the nuts and bolts that position you the best way to grow your assets. What most investors need is a trusted resource to show them all of the pieces and how they fit together, how there are natural synergies between investing in asset protection, estate planning, and tax sheltering. And it's by capitalizing on these synergies that truly meaningful wealth becomes achievable. Now, until now, there was good reason to avoid putting these pieces in place. And for starters, it takes a tremendous amount of study to ensure the various components are executed correctly. Unfortunately, most advisors only do part of the job. They only have one piece of the puzzle that leaves you having to figure it all out on your own. And that's a scary proposition to most investors, especially when they have jobs or businesses and families demanding so much of their time and energy. That's why I'm so excited about the Royal Protection System. It's a system I'm incredibly proud of, because By putting it to work for you, these concerns can all be put to rest once and for all. My court-tested, proven system provides investors a completely streamlined process that you can complete very quickly and never have to maintain on your own because we do all the work for you. And because I'm an active real estate investor and a practicing asset protection attorney, my grasp of wealth creation and protection is second to none. You'll never have to worry about us doing part of the job and leaving you to fend for yourself. I built my company, Royal Legal Solutions, to be the one-stop shop for real estate investors. My clients are fully positioned and protected to focus on doing what they do best, and that's identify profitable transactions and do deals. There's no stressing over things you meant to get back to but never had time for. Just that amazing feeling that comes from knowing all of the pieces are in place to protect your wealth and your legacy, and knowing you'll never have to worry about it again. Again, the Royal Protection System is the big picture. It is the total protection system for you, your wealth, and your legacy during your lifetime and after you die. The solo 401k, which has been our main focus today, is a key component of that larger picture. It's to help you grow your wealth even faster. It can be set up as your Royal Protection System or completely independently, however you want to approach it. At this point, you may be wondering, why haven't I heard of the solo 401k before? With so many financial products and strategies out there, it's easy to miss out on key opportunities to maximize your wealth. Uncovering these kinds of investment vehicles takes time and research. In all honesty, there are lots of professional advisors out there who have their attention focused elsewhere, and they just aren't aware of opportunities like this existing. Like I said before, Royal Legal Solutions is the business leader and fully capitalizing on all the synergies between investing, asset protection, estate planning, and tax sheltering for real estate investors. We live for this stuff. And remember, with tax sheltering, you're talking about a completely honed in legal strategy to let you earn up to 30% more on your investments. The solo 401k is specifically designed to be quick, easy to modify, and very low maintenance. And the process of setting it up is extremely painless. And again, setting up your solo 401k will likely pay for itself in year one, guys. You'll never have an investment this good again that pays for itself in year one. This will leave you with extra profits in the form of tax savings for years and years to come. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. Tax sheltering as a strategy obviously is very appealing. Everyone loves the idea of saving money on taxes, but what is the actual value of taking action here today? For starters, everyone joining me on this webinar is an investor. In fact, most of you are real estate investors. So you know every dollar of yours can be leveraged using other people's money. The more dollars you have available to invest, the more properties you can buy, the faster you can grow your wealth. How many of you sitting on 2 investment properties today would be a lot happier if you had 4 or 6 or 8 properties in your portfolio? Of course you would be happier. The more you own, the more you can borrow, the more you can buy. Do you think protecting more of your earnings from the government will help you achieve your financial goals faster so you can enjoy your life, the life that you've worked so hard to build for yourself and your family? Of course you will. Believe me, it's not rocket science. It's just a question of making sure you're doing everything possible to hold on to more of what you earn and then leveraging those dollars for greater success in the future. By quick show of hands, how many of you are comfortable leaving 30% of your hard-earned dollars on the table for the taxman? Yeah, nobody. But there's something else to consider above and beyond your tax saving. And that's what it's costing you to sit on the sidelines, not managing your money to its full potential, settling for these crap returns when you could be leveraging a solo 401k to actively manage your portfolio and assets that really work for you. It's this advantage plus the tax savings, their combined effect, that makes a solo 401k such a powerful tool for real estate investors. With the solo 401k from Royal Legal Solutions, you get all the tax advantages I outlined for you earlier. You'll save money on taxes, which you can use to grow your real estate portfolio. Plus, we take care of all the setup and compliance for our clients. You can shelter your income without any extra work on your end whatsoever. And best of all, you get a 100% legal way to make ineligible income eligible so you can grow your wealth even faster. Best way to get started is schedule a 100% risk-free consultation with me or one of my staff members who I personally trained to put the power of the tax sheltering to work for you today. Just go to royallegalsolutions.com/solo to schedule your consult. That's royallegalsolutions.com/solo to schedule your consult. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. Whether it's our YouTube channel, our blog, the REI Nerds podcast, where we're geeking out on the latest and greatest information that me and my friends have diagnosed in real estate investment deals, everything you need to know, every question you can even think to ask about this game,
I've already covered it. I already have it. It's already available. The only place you got to come to is right here.